According to the United Nations, 158.8 million people around the world use marijuana, more than 3.8 of the planet's population, and at least over 94 million people in the US alone have admitted to using it at least once. There are several reasons to legalize marijuana. For instance, it'll help federal government generate additional revenue, open jobs, and for its medical value. Marijuana is not a harmful drug if it's not abused. Legalization would help the government save money, and it's environmental friendly. Only 6% of research on marijuana published in the last year analyzed its benefits. The other 93 were designed primarily to investigate its harm. Alcohol abuse kills 2.5 million people worldwide each year. The green stuff has led to exactly 0 deaths recorded, ever. Its purposes include stimulation of appetite, pain relief, helps prevent nausea and vomiting, helps anxiety and sleep, promotes relaxation, improvement of mood, and prevention of growth blood vessels which supply tumors.
So tell us briefly, why did you change your mind?
Well, I think a lot of it was in that quote. When you look at the literature surrounding marijuana, if you do a search through the medical journals, some 20,000 papers would pop up, and I was keeping up steadily on the scientific literature, but what I was realizing was that the vast majority of these studies talked about the harm, the perils, the problems with marijuana. A very small percentage, less than 10%, close to 6%, actually evaluated benefit. So when you looked at all these studies in aggregate, Wolf, you would think that there was a distorted picture. You would think there was a lot more harm with marijuana than potential benefit. But it wasn't until I started looking at laboratories outside the United States, smaller laboratories that were doing amazing work, listening to the course of legitimate patients for whom not only did marijuana work, it was the only thing that worked. And that was quite stunning to me. I also looked closely at the DEA scheduling policy. They classify marijuana as a Schedule I substance, saying it's in the category of the most dangerous substances out there. And when I looked carefully at that, I found there was really no scientific evidence to say it was that dangerous, that it had high abuse potential, and that it had no medical applications. I believe it does have medical applications, and I just thought was an important message to get out there.
And you also conclude, Sanjay, and I read your excellent article, you conclude that in certain cases, medical marijuana is even more effective than various pharmaceutical drugs, right?
Absolutely, and this is, again, I think very important for people to hear. The medical community is starting to understand this better, but this idea that, for example, neuropathic pain, that's this terrible sort of burning, lancinating pain patients have described to me. Oftentimes these patients, they're miserable. They get narcotics, morphine, OxyContin, Dilaudid. These types of medications don't work, maybe at all, but certainly not after a few months. People can develop tolerance to them. And you come to find that marijuana, in a percentage of patients, not only does it work better than these narcotics, it's much safer. Because on those narcotics, Wolf, you and I have talked about this, there's a death, an accidental overdose death from prescription medications every 19 minutes in this country. Those are dangerous medications. They have a role, but they can be dangerous. Whereas with marijuana, I couldn't find a single confirmed overdose death. So you have something that works better, may work when other things don't, and probably much safer. And again, I think that's important for both patients and the medical community to hear.
All right, so medical marijuana serves a useful purpose, you conclude.